Hey dumplings, it's Dan Desai. Welcome back to my channel. I want to talk about some issues that apparently occurred with the VMAs, specifically around Jungkook and Jimin. ARMYs have been pissed about this, and I totally understand why, and I definitely want to get into it. We're going to talk about some of the tweets, some of the comments, some of the posts. We also have an industry insider who apparently talked about BTS and their experience with BTS backstage, and I definitely want to get into that as well because I think that is very interesting. So let's sip some tea here. If you are new here and you're interested in this type of stuff, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so be notified anytime a new video drops. And if you're a hater, like to be the first to leave your hate comment, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell also so you can be the first to do so. Now, let's get into it. If you are not aware, K-pop has hit another historical moment here in America by being at the VMAs. And this definitely needs to be talked about. It needs to have its own moment. I mean, I knew it was going to happen when they announced that BTS was going to perform at the VMAs, but it actually has happened and now history has been made. But BTS has been at like American performances before, so this isn't like the first time for that. But anyway, the VMA performance has not even been a day since recording of this video. And honestly, if you have not seen it, it was great. Shookening. I'll be reacting to that on my Patreon, so if you do want to check that out, you can definitely check it out over there. It is so good, and obviously they killed it. They did have a green screen though, at least what looked like a green screen, since they couldn't actually be at the VMA stage. It still looked really cool. I'm actually not sure if it was performed in front of any type of live audience or if it was completely just them by themselves. I think it might have been something that was pre-recorded and maybe recorded a few times, kind of like what they did with the Grand Central Station performance. But that is just my theory. Like, there's no reason for it to be like live because there's actually no actual audience there at the VMAs this year, obviously. But MTV have been hyping up the VMAs for quite some time as they have dropped this promo. And of course, if BTS was actually going to perform at the VMAs, there would be no doubt that they would be hyping it up. I believe this issue happened on MTV's Twitter account, and they posted kind of a promo of BTS. It was like a short clip, and as of right now, I do believe it was deleted because I can't find it. Basically, it was a video of all the boys, and it was like 2x2. So it was Jimin and Jungkook together, and then it was Jin and Taehyung together, and of course J-Hope, RM, and Suga together. And it basically flashes the members on the screen one at a time in these groups. Then they had a group photo kind of in the middle of the video where they showed all 7 of them, and ARMY screenshotted what the group photo looked like. Now at first glance, it's like, okay, cute, all 7 boys are there. And likely that's what they did. They just counted the heads and they were like, okay, they're set. Cool, we got them all. But if you look carefully, Jimin and Jungkook are kind of doubled in the photo. It's just them at different angles. This is upsetting to some ARMYs because it emphasizes the stereotype of all Asians look the same, which is just not true, obviously. People tell me I look like BTS all the time, which is honestly an insult to BTS. But also my features are so incredibly different and obviously different from BTS. You're just saying that because we're both Asian. Each member of BTS has very distinctive features. How does this happen? They don't look that much alike, and you can't tell that you've got the same person there twice, even if you've never seen them before. The problem that people have lies with the fact that the problem people have here probably lies in the fact that there isn't enough Asians within the editing and graphics, or maybe not even enough Asians behind the scenes to kind of monitor this. I just feel like if they did, situations like this could have been avoided, because I am going to assume that other Asians can tell Asians apart. Don't fail me. Let's not talk about the fact that it's the same person just doubled. Maybe you couldn't see that, right? Fine. But you couldn't tell that their outfits doubled? Like, clearly they all wouldn't be wearing the same thing. Like, they clearly spent a lot of time editing out the members of BTS and then putting them on the backdrop and all that stuff. So why couldn't you tell at one point, hey, these 2 people look the same? A lot of ARMYs were also upset at the fact that it was also Taejin missing again. It's always Taehyung or Jin kind of missing from a group photo or anything like that. I can say this time it's likely not Big Hit's fault or anything Big Hit could have controlled. TV networks and channels usually make and edit the promos themselves, and the edit is done by their team. Not 100% sure if it was for this case in this scenario, but this is usually how it works. Another person on the Tweetster had this to say about the situation. When it's the end time this month alone for both of them, I'm so sick of the same old treatment. It tears me up. I do find it weird, and I'm not even talking about MTV, but just everything in general, that Taehyung and Jin keep getting forgotten. What is it about them that people keep forgetting them? To me, they're definitely memorable. Jin is Mr. Worldwide Handsome. How can you forget? And y'all know I love Taehyung. I love Taehyung a lot. I talk about him a lot too. And Taehyung gets quite a bit of screen time in music videos as well. So it's not like he has a face that no one's seen before. I definitely think ARMYs are upset that it continues to be the same person over and over again. Maybe if it was a different member this time, they wouldn't be be as upset, but knowing ARMYs, and understandably so, they'd be upset. Like, if you're gonna host anyone on your social media account, it's the kind thing to do to put the correct person there. Like, I don't know, I don't think they'd ever mix up like One Direction with Maroon 5, and if they did, they'd be like, oh wow, that's bad, and it would have never gotten posted. Also, no one on the editing team was a BTS fan. I totally understand the frustration on this, but to give benefit of the doubt to MTV, I don't think they purposely did this, as I can no longer find the promo, which means they deleted it, and that was their way of kind of fixing or resolving the issue, which is definitely a good start, and likely it was too late to kind of sit there and re-edit something. Definitely not the best scenario, but definitely worse things could happen. I am very glad personally that BTS even had an opportunity to perform at the VMAs. I would advise against attacking MTV on this, just because if they do get a lot of hate, they might be like, you know what, it's not worth it, never put BTS on TV. We definitely don't want that. And I'm definitely glad that BTS was given this opportunity, and of course this is something huge for them. I'm really happy about it. First of all, to have a K-pop group perform at the VMAs, but also to have them sing a completely English song. And I believe they're one of the more like most foreign acts that was ever on the VMA main stage. People don't really count like Spanish music as foreign acts. I think it's because it's within the same like continent or something. But like, this is definitely really cool. Something so historic happened. Also, Blackpink won an award, which is so freaking awesome. The VMAs was definitely interesting this year, as I don't believe it was filmed in New York or anything like that. I think BTS's part was actually filmed in Korea. But if they were actually at the VMAs, they would have met a lot of people within the industry. And BTS of course meets a lot of people in the industry who judge BTS. And not judge always in the bad way. I can only imagine good things were said. But there was this alleged industry insider who had something to say about BTS, who apparently had met some of the biggest K-pop groups. This includes of course BTS, Twice, and not really a group, but J-Park. But we are going to talk about BTS. Their opinion on RM is that he's well-mannered. And honestly, there's no shock there. I am not surprised. I feel like if he were to date someone, he'd be the ultimate gentleman. There would be no gentleman that could compete. Like, he would hold all the doors for everybody, pull their chairs out. Also, as a leader of one of the biggest boy groups currently in the world right now, those type of leaders can get a little big-headed. So it's nice to hear that he is not. The exact quote that was said about RM was, he was surprisingly well-mannered and greets very well. He looks very logical like a leader. Even though it was after they won at Billboard, he bowed to every staff with 90 degrees. Bowing fully down is such a big sign of respect. The industry person also said the same thing about J-Hope, that they were both well-mannered, and no surprise there. J-Hope is someone who I also feel who is super kind on dates, and would look out for their significant other too. Again, keep in mind that these guys are likely richer and more powerful than anyone is on the red carpet, yet they still act humble, and they still bow. Learn from them, people. Now next, this person mentioned Jimin, and after meeting Jimin, this was kind of his impression of him. They said, he always turns his mic on wrong and says it's broken. He seems cute. Oh sweetie, yes, he's very cute. I didn't know he did this. I think it's super funny that he does. I can imagine him just like fumbling with the mic, and honestly I do the same. And the last person that this industry insider spoke about was V, and apparently they thought V was super handsome. Like, same, I agree. My husband is handsome. That is why I married him. I always do find it so cool that BTS and other idols take the time to treat their staff and their crew really, really well and kindly, because nowadays a lot of people know that without the staff or without the crew, you wouldn't be as successful as you are now. A lot of their success comes from people helping them, because one person can't do everything. You can only go so far just by putting stuff out on your own, like on social media and stuff, without any help. I definitely wanted to see what other people were saying about this. How they found one person on Twitter, they said this. I can totally imagine Jimin pouting and saying, I think it's broken, and then giggles awkwardly when he realizes he turned it on wrong. I totally agree. I can totally see it. It's super cute. We're not all tech junkies. I'd probably screw it up myself too and be like, why'd you give me a broken one? Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave it down in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm featuring this comment right here. Thank you so much for leaving content. And as always, I do have a Patreon. If you want to go over to my Patreon and kind of check that out, anything you contribute over there really helps kind of give back to this channel, help me make better videos on here and all that stuff. So I really do appreciate you looking into that and checking it out. You can also get exclusive content, as I mentioned earlier, like music video reactions, performance reactions, ship reactions, all that stuff over there. And you can also recommend things you want to see from me over there as well. So we'll definitely check that out. Link in the top of the description down below. There's also 2 videos that will appear on the screen at the end of the video. Click on one of those. I'll see you over there. Bye.
I put